Hi guys and welcome. Today is Sunday, July 28th. And we're going to do a card with using this set, this bundle. And I do have a couple other examples I made yesterday during a retreat. So I used their card setup, but I used this set inside of it. So we'll see how this turns out. All right. So I have a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 pool party, and I've scored it at 4 1/4, so we're gonna put that off to the side. I have a layer, one layer down, so this is 4 by 5 1/4, and this is your basic white. And what I'm gonna do here, since I have the 3, I am going to go ahead and use the dies on this card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up here so that my paper is somewhat centered. So let's see, there's 2 and a part and 2 and a part. Alright, so I'm going to put 1 there. I'm going to put 1 here and 1 here. Looks like it's pretty evenly laid out there. I'm going to put some tape down because with this many different, oh, I moved that a little bit. With this many different layers of cutting, it will undoubtedly move unless you tape it down somehow. So let's go ahead. Oops. All right, let me make sure. Still looks pretty good to me. If it's a little off, it's a little off. I'm not going to get too upset about it. All right, so I'm going to run this through. I'm going to angle this through so that all of those straight cutting surfaces don't hit the rollers at once. And then that makes it a little bit easier to go through. Sometimes if you go straight on, it's a little bit harder or tougher to wind that through. So let's go ahead. I'll put this over here on my work desk. And we'll take those off. I always like peeling my tape off at an angle. I feel like then it's less likely to rip your cardstock, especially if your washi tape or painter's tape, whatever you're using, is new. Seems to help it from pulling up on the cardstock. All right, let's see how it did there. So there are my pieces using all 3 of those. That's another reason why I wanted to get the 3 dies on that bundle instead of the punch. That way I can do multiple cutting like this. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead, and I think, do I want to leave this? I think I want to run this through an embossing folder now. So let me go ahead and grab that back out. Here's this. And now, where with cutting you use the 1, the 2, and 2 3s, with the embossing, depending on which folder you're using, you're either using 2 3s or a 4. So I am going to see, I don't have a lot. I think most of mine are 3Ds. But let me see if I have one that's not 3D that will cover this card thing. And I don't think I do. I think most of my big folders are all 3D. And they are, let me see, here's these. Let's see. I think these are all 3D. That's too small. That's too small. Yeah, these are all 3D. So I'm going to go grab my embossing pad, and I think I'm going to use the eyelet on this. All right, so if you are using a 3D embossing folder, you just use your plate 1 and your plate 4, and it tells you that right here. All right, and It's been a long time since I bought my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, but that's a standard plate that's inside when you purchase. So I have that. You want to make sure that the folded edge of your embossing folder goes through first. The Stampin' Up! Logo should be going through last. Or you can do it side to side, but I like doing it this way. Put my 4 plate, my adapter plate in there. Gosh, it would help if I had nails. And then, here, I'll put it up against this so you can see. And there's my piece embossed. All right. Now I think I can put this away. Now I think I am done with my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. So I'll put it back over here on my side counter. All right. So now let's go back to these. What I'm going to do on these is I'm going to show you. Now, is our new embossing powder a little bit pricey? I think so. I just got it because I had the old and I was getting pretty low on it anyway. But I've heard that it gives fabulous results. So I'm going to need my, over here, I'm going to need my heat tool. And what I'm going to do is I am going to take the butterfly from here, and I'm just going to use the outer edge one. Oops, I didn't stick my magnetic plate too well. I'm just going to do my outer edge one. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and take my Versamark. Grab that out. Come over here. And going to do 2 of these with the butterflies on them. There's one. You know, you've got it pretty well inked. And 1. So that's going to be for these 2. All right. I'm going to take my, and yes, I could have run my embossing buddy over it for static, but I don't think that there's going to be a lot of problem with it since it's a good solid image. I don't think I'm going to have any problems. So going to do a little bit of that white. Get my tweezers to lift up on this again because I don't have nails. All right, I'll just try it like that. I don't know if you can see the powder on it. Looks like I did get a little bit of a fingerprint there, but I'm not gonna worry about it. Probably because I ran my fingers over it. I should have put this down before. Let me see on that. That one looks pretty clean. I might have done a little bit of rocking right there. See how I have powder there? So let me go ahead and just do my brush a little bit there to get some of that off. All right. Now if I had done my embossing body first, you wouldn't have seen that. All right. Let me get this down to the bottom here. I'm going to uncork it. and dump all that powder right back in there. Oh, looks like I might have had some paper scraps in there. It's all right, it'll work. All right, so now let's go ahead and heat set this. Let me see, I'm hoping I don't unplug the wrong thing. Phew, I didn't. All right, it's gonna get just a little bit loud, guys, while I emboss this. But you want to make sure all your powders are covered up before you emboss. Let's see if I can show you what happens. It's white and white, but you see it changing and getting that little shiny enamel look? That means that you've got it. Sometimes people heat it from underneath. You see I got a little bit of a cardstock burn on there. I'm not going to be worried about that, because I'm going to be adding color to this. You want to make sure it's all shiny. Let's look at that really quick. Looks like everything is shiny. So let's go ahead to our second piece. And this time I'm going to show you from the bottom. I'm going to heat it from the bottom. See how that's turning kind of glossy now? That means that embossing powder is set. I'm just going to do a little bit more. Just to make sure. Bring it up. Let the camera focus. See how it's all shiny? It means it's all set. Okay. Let me unplug my heat tool. It's always a big thing. I don't ever leave my heat tool plugged in, and after I've used it to heat set, I set it away so that spout can, or that tip can cool off. Now mine is the older embossing tool, so there is a newer one out, but if it's not broke, don't fix it. All right. Let me go ahead. I'm going to grab out these two. I'm going to use, should I use this with the pink or the purple? I think I'm going to use it with my purple one. Let me find that one. Here we go. Use it with the purple one. So, and this is just a piercing mat. Really, I usually do this on my glass mat. It's smooth, it glides on so much smoother, but we'll use it for this. All right, so see how we're going over that? And see, that's where I put my finger, so we might put in an embellishment there. So let's go ahead and do that. Just gonna take a fiber cloth, rub over where that embossing was. Yeah, I really put my finger in there. That's why you don't want to do any oils, get any oils on there. But it's all right, because this is just going to be for technique anyway. You know what? I think I want to, do I have one that I have some new, I put those on the wrong one. I got these from the Country Hive. So, anyway. Once I go on. Oh! I think that went behind my desk. I'll get that later. Let me do it here. Because this is my blue, dark blue. I want this to be more of like my teal. There we go. I'll get that band later. It went behind my desk. So let's go ahead And get some of this. This is Summer Splash, of course. You can see here, usually, and I didn't do a great job with the embossing here too because I skipped. You see how it skipped there? Usually when I'm sitting down, it's better to emboss when you're sitting down to me and not standing up because you can see your inking a little bit better. But we're just going to leave it the way it is. Imagine it looks better. Then we have our last one here. So then what we're going to do with our card pieces, wherever they went to, have a little bit of a mess going on here. All right, we can put the Versamark away. Not going to use again. You also, and I gotta say that bright is very bright. That white is a lot brighter than our old embossing powder. So, gotta say that does look good. All right, now did I just lose another one? I'm having a time here, guys. So we have this. Where did my other go to? Was it stuck to the bottom of my Versamark pad? Oh my gosh. Can you believe it? Where did it go? All right, well, either I guess we'll be doing another one or we'll just continue on as is because I lost one of my cutouts. Now, if I went back and watched the video, I probably would see it. Let me just lift this up to make sure it didn't fall under there. Oh, there it is. All right, sorry. Now you see all my little messy stuff that I have above my desk. Okay, whew. All right, so let's go ahead. We're gonna tape this down. Now I'm gonna try my Stampin' Seal. Usually after I've run it through an embossing machine, I don't like using Stampin' Seal because the fibers are already broken down in the cardstock, and I feel like it is broken down and it can tear. But we're gonna go ahead and do it. Hover before we push down. All right, like that. These we're going to pop up with our dimensionals. And see, in a perfect world, I would re-record this part of the segment and edit in, but I don't do all that fancy stuff. What you see, you see. This is stamping. It's not like brain surgery. All right, so we're putting those so they're just above those cutouts. Here, we're going to do a little happy birthday message. We're going to drop it. Luckily not on the card. Oh, I have some ink on my finger. Don't want to be careful of that. I'm going to put it over to the side because I'm going to put little embellishments. And yes, I could have used this one if I wanted to, but as I already had enough going on, I'm not going to do that. I am going to, though, do my edges just a little bit. Just rolling this in the stamp pad to give just a little bit of edging to that. All right, I'm going to lay this one down flat. I'm not going to pop this one up. So that one's going to nestle right in there. And let's put on some embellishments. Let's go ahead and use the 3-pack tinsel. Because they have that pinkish and that bluish that we're looking for. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna put one there. I'm not even gonna distract from all my little wasted opportunities. There we go. Put those back up, put that over there. There is, let me get a little bit of this cleaned up. All right, so there's our card. All right, let me show you the other cards I did. So on this one, I fussy cut out the butterfly. There's that little phrase from in there. Sorry, here's the just for you phrase. We used the punch to punch out a piece of our designer series paper. So there you have that one. And then on this one, I used the just for you. Again, punched out, used that flower from the set. So that's that 2-step stamping there. Did that one for this open pocket card. All right, guys, there you have it. That one needs to be, need to grab my bone folder, wherever it is, and crease that down a little bit more. But there you have it. The 3 cards using this bundle labeled with love. Thanks for watching. Have a great Sunday. Go Team USA if you're watching the Olympics. Most of all, have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye for now.